učesnika prijavljenih, ja pretpostavljam da će biti otprilike 250 prvi dan, 250 drugi dan, zato što će neki doći samo ovako. Iz 12 zemalja, tu je Srbija, tu su druge zemlje Zapadnog Balkana, imamo učesnike iz Nizozemske, iz Gruzije, iz Moldavije. Naš fokus je, kao što i projekt kaže, mladi mediji, mediji i mladi. Tu je neki podfokus na medijskoj etici i to ćete isto vidjeti sad na ovim studijama koje ćemo danas još predstaviti, koje ćemo ove kolege predstaviti. Naša filozofija je, to je za mene zaista jako bitno u svemu tome, da mi zapravo pokušavamo ne samo podržavati informacije i izvještavanje o mladima, nego da se radi o izvještavanju za mlade, a pogotovo još u trećem koraku zajedno sa mladima. Da mladi nisu zapravo samo objekti izvještavanja, uglavnom u crnoj hronici, nego da su subjekti, da se govori o tome što oni rade, što su njihove aktivnosti i isto tako naravno da oni sami o tome izvještavaju, da su oni sami autori, da su sami novinari. Mi sebe smatramo manje kao nastavnicima, već više mentorima koji isto tako jako puno uče kroz te aktivnosti koje imamo. Mi imamo neku širu definiciju medija, mi ne shvaćamo medije samo kao tradicionalni mediji, znači TV, radio, štampa ili ne znam, neki profesionalni online portali, nego mi tu vidimo isto taj neformalni medijski sektor, medijske inicijative, youtubere, svi oni spadaju za nas u tu definiciju. Za nas je važno, ukoliko mi želimo surađivati sa nekim medijem oko toga, da zaista pogledamo malo i podržavamo ih, da se radi o informativnim sadržajima. Informativni sadržaj za mlade i sa mladima znači da ne bude samo čista zabava, nego da se prenose zaista isto informacije. Da oni mediji uzimaju u obzir što publika zapravo od njih očekuje. Da su samo održivi, da imaju viziju i isto tako da prave oni sami prvi korak. Mi nudimo konsultacije, mentorsku podršku, treninge, radionice i mi isto tako održavamo fokus grupe, to prije svega preko Kolfa. Mi se ne miješamo u uređivačku politiku. Mi isto tako ne financiramo tekuće troškove medija. To prije svega zbog održivosti. Ja bih želio prikazati samo dva projekta na kojima smo ove godine malo intenzivnije radili i to je s jedne strane, tu vidite s lijeve strane JUGpress.
Savjet za štampu uz podršku Deutsche Welle Akademije sprovelo je monitoring 8 dnevnih nacionalnih listova u kojima prati poštovanje kodeksa novinara. I upravo Petar Jeremić iz UNCA je jedan od onih koji je... Kako?
Nije više iz UNCA.
Niste više iz UNCA, dobro. Nije više, ali u svakom slučaju jedan od analizatora, odnosno radio je ovu analizu i samim tim on će nam i predstaviti rezultate. Tako da, eto, Petar, izvolite.
Hvala, Anja. Samo jedna mala dopuna, nisam sam radio ovo, radimo koleginica Tamara Skroza i ja. I mi to radimo već 4. godinu. Počeli smo 2015. godine na inicijativu misije OEBS-a u Srbiji i evo 4. godinu radimo, nismo stalno radili u istom periodu. Ove godine to radimo od avgusta uz podršku Deutsche Welle akademije. Monitoring se odnosi na 8 dnevnih novina koje se distribuiraju na teritoriji cele Srbije. To su, ajde da krenemo od ovih koji najviše krše kodeks, to su Srpski telegraf, Alo, Informer, Kurir, Večernje novosti, Blic, Danas i Politika. I rezultati su, na moju žalost, sve gori i gori, da tako kažem, odnosno svake godine se taj broj prekršaja kodeksa povećava. Ove godine smo u dogovoru sa Deutsche Welle akademijom poseban akcenat stavili i da beležimo kršenje kodeksa koji se odnose na decu. Mi smo to ranije nekako imali zbirno, nismo posebno imali te podatke, jer u kodeksu doslovno jedna tačka se odnosi eksplicitno na kršenje dece, ali još nekoliko tačaka ima koje uz ostale stvari krše i prava dece. I ove godine, nažalost, imamo nešto što do sada nismo primećivali u tom monitoringu. Pored onog kršenja pretpostavke nevinosti, recimo, ili prava deteta gde se deca jasno identifikuju, ove godine imamo jedan, čini mi se, drastičan slučaj i ono što je meni porazno, to je da niko u ovoj državi na to ne reaguje. A to je da je u jedan reality program ušla beba, njena majka je učesnica tog realitija, beba je stara tek par meseci i da se u štampanim medijima vrlo često ona pojavljuje u kontekstu dešavanja u tom realitiju. Meni stvarno to nekako ne mogu da razumem uopšte kako je neko biće koje je tek došlo na svet, ni krivo ni dužno, došlo u takvu situaciju i pored toga što novinari uopšte ne postavljaju pitanje zbog čega je to tako i šta bi trebalo uraditi, strašno je što i nadležne državne institucije ne reaguju. Ja stvarno ne znam šta treba još da se desi da Centar za socijalni rad počne da radi svoj posao. Samo da vam kažem da je u slučaju te bebe čak preneseno u novinama koje izveštavaju o dešavanjima u tim reality programima i pretnje silovanju bebe stavi tek nekoliko meseci. I samo sam u jednom tekstu video da su se donekle ogradili i da su to kritikovali, u svima sam je to preneto kao neko dešavanje koje je bilo u realitiju. Ono što takođe vidimo, često su deca žrtve poznatih roditelja. Piše se o deci, o maloj deci koje još nisu ni svesne svojih postupaka ni svog okruženja koje se dešava od njih, recimo kada se piše o brakorazvodnim parnicama roditelja koji su poznate i javne ličnosti. Pa sad imamo situaciju da se jedna pevačica koja se razvodi sa mužem zbog navodno porodičnog nasilja, da je novinari prate kada svoje dete donosi u Centar za socijalni rad da se ono vidi sa ocem. I tu se zalaze stvarno u svakakve detalje koji uopšte ne vidim nikakav javni interes da se o tome piše, ali jednostavno to je nekim medijima zanimljivo. Ono što se dešavalo i ove godine u ovom posmatranom periodu i što se dešavalo i ranijih godina, takođe, to je da je jednoj devojčici život uništen od strane medija, to je ćerka ubijene pevačice Jelene Marjanović. To dete, osim što je ostalo bez majke, zahvaljujući pisanju medija, ja mislim da će vrlo brzo ostati bez porodice, jer njen odnos sa porodicom za svega godinu, dve, kada bude dovoljno stara da može da izgugla svoje ime i da vidi šta sve piše njoj, je trajno narušena. Pritom, ne samo da novinari, nego ni policija ne zna još ko je ubica njene majke. Tu je prekršeno maltene sve što je moglo da bude prekršeno. Što se tiče kodeksa i uopšte mi nije jasno šta je svrha toga. I ono još jedno što mogu da apelujem na ajde kažem kolege koje o tome pišu, ajde bar budite ljudi. I nemojte da uništavate nekom život. Kratak rezime svega ovoga je da se kodeks, nažalost, krši i da se krši sve više. I da mi na to jednostavno kao profesija za sada još nemam odgovor. Ja bih sad samo zamolio kolege da krenemo u kratku prezentaciju, da vidimo otprilike, predstavit ćemo, o tome ćemo detaljno Tamara i ja govoriti danas na panelu, kakvi su naši rezultati, ali ovo samo da prođemo kroz ovu.
Dear guests and friends, thank you very much for joining us today. I'd like to welcome the German ambassador to Serbia, Mr. Tomas Schick. I'd like to welcome the Assistant Minister of Youth and Sports, Mrs. Snežana Kvašnjak. And I'd like to welcome the OSCE Ambassador to Serbia, Mr. Andrea Orizio. Thank you for being with us here today. Well, nowadays, media have to be courageous and innovative. They have to be brave new media, especially when targeting young people, and that's why we're here. In our video, we let you sneak into what the JUG Academy has been doing here in Serbia and the Western Balkans during the past months. I'm sure this forum is going to go far beyond. I'm glad that so many people decided to join us and to approach the world with youngsters' eyes. Maybe you've noticed some details in this event that are meant to help you to do so. So this location, the kids' theater, the scenery, and the hidden song titles. We're proud to have participants here from 12 countries, from Serbia and the countries of the Western Balkan, from the Netherlands, from Moldova, and from Georgia. I'm really overwhelmed by the number of young people in here, especially teenagers from Belgrade, from Niš, Bor, Kraljevo, Subotica, even teenagers from Montenegro. A special welcome to you. I'd like to thank those who made this Brave New Media Forum happen: the German Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development, the OSCE mission to Belgrade, the European Department of Deutsche Welle, IREX, and last but not least, all our partners on the project Young Media. And I would like really to thank the whole Brave New Media team for their enthusiasm preparing this forum. Thanks to my colleagues, Michael Karhausen and Adelheid Falke, for supporting us and being here with us. So, Michael, here's the mic.
Good afternoon and a warm welcome on behalf of the JUG Academy. My statement is very easy. It's great to be a journalist, it's great to work for media, and it's great to work with media. And I myself personally experienced this as a child when I watched the daily news show with my parents together once a day and listened to the radio program. I experienced this personally as a young professional, joining a newspaper, a radio and a TV station and covering stories as a reporter. And I still experience this as a, you might say, a senior, now dealing with media development. And whatever you do in this field, it's just, what is a good story? How can I tell a good story? How can I support the free expression of the freedom of expression, and how can I support the free access to information? That's all about it. And of course, times have changed. I mean, when I was a child, I watched TV and listened to the radio and read the newspaper. I still do that. But of course, we have many forms of distribution, how to tell stories in other ways with the social media. I don't have to tell you that. I think you are much more familiar with that than I am. But it's still the same. How can I tell a good story? How can I support the freedom of expression? And how can I support the free access to information? And nowadays, it's much easier to be a journalist than it used to be in my former times, because now to be a journalist is not just the privilege of one who joins a media house, who joins a newspaper or radio station. Everybody can be a journalist, technically. And it's quite easy. It's not that easy to be a journalist, but it's technically easier to be a journalist and you can do it in a more or less professional way. And if you want to do it in a professional way, that's exactly where we step in, DW and DW Academy. We support forums like this. We organize hackathons. We do a lot in the field of education of young journalists. We do a lot of in the field of media viability, how to make media sustainable in the market. And we do a lot in the field of media and information literacy. And this is very essential to us, how to distinguish between hate speech and good speech, how to deal with fake news, with propaganda, and how to find good and reliable sources. I think it's very essential if you deal with media, not only as one who is making media or as a journalist, but also with a customer. And still it is the same, how to tell a good story, how to provide the freedom of expression, and how to provide free access to information. DW Academy is running projects in more than 25 countries all over the world. It's in Latin America, it's in Near East, it's in Africa, it's also in Asia, and it's in Eastern Europe. And we have, for example, projects with the Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh, where we run a radio program for these refugees. We do a lot in the field of curriculum. We have media and information literacy curriculum in schools in Cambodia, but also in Georgia and in Moldova. We set up press councils, for example, in Mongolia, but also in Myanmar, and we help to transform state media, such in Ukraine or Myanmar, to become public broadcasting service. And we deal a lot with young professionals as you. We do this not only here in the Balkan area, we also do it in Bangladesh or in Pakistan. You will see it's a worldwide thing we have to deal with. And coming back to my first statement, it's great to be a journalist, it's great to deal with media, it's great to work for media, so be brave and enjoy the day today. Thank you very much. I'll hand it over to Anna Teichel. She's the head of the Eastern programs of DW program.
Thank you, Michael. Hello, everybody. I'm here for the second time, because I was here also for last year's conference. But this year, when I saw the title Brave New Media, I was a bit astonished and a bit asking myself, is this a reference to Brave New World? Is it a horrific one or is it a good one? And but I think this is exactly what we are talking about. Brave New Media offers both sides. As Michael already pointed out, if we are not dealing with these new media in the right way, it can be a horrific thing. So I'm very much looking forward to meet to all of you and to talk about these challenges and chances new media are offering to you. But before I hand over to the next one, I just give you a short insight what Deutsche Welle is doing in terms of programming. Because you know, Michael and Klaus here are both representing Deutsche Welle Academy. This is our capacity building institution, and I'm representing the programs. Probably you know that Deutsche Welle offers program in Serbian language, but also in Bosnian, Croatian, Macedonian, Albanian, only to talk about Western Balkans, but we have altogether 30 languages all over the globe. And what are we doing mainly if it comes to our reporting for this area for you, and especially for you young people in the Western Balkans? We have a daily program for the internet, we have online websites, and we have a lot of reporting on social media, on Facebook and Twitter, on YouTube. And what are we doing, especially to inform you and to reach out to you young people? We offer a lot of stories prepared specially for what we are all using to get informed, our smartphones. So web videos, short stories, pictures, and I think this is exactly also in the line with the project the Deutsche Welle Academy is offering to you. So my last point would be, please follow us on our program and be critical, send us your requests, your comments, and I'm very much looking forward to the conference, which is also a very good cooperation between our colleagues who are working as journalists in Deutsche Welle and also working as trainers, and a lot of spirit and synergy has already become a lived reality in the cooperation between our Deutsche Welle Academy partners you are representing, and Deutsche Welle Programming, which I am representing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Adelheid and Michael. So now I would like to invite Mr. Shi to take the floor. Thank you.
Stage. Dear Ambassador Ovizio, dear Mrs. Klarner, dear Mrs. Falke, dear Mr. Daman, dear Mr. Karhausen, dear participants from so many countries, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for inviting me. It's a great pleasure and an honor for me to be here today and to have the chance to open the conference together with colleagues from Deutsche Welle and the OSCE ambassador and Mrs. Klasner. In the beginning, at first, I would really like to commend the organizers of this conference, of this forum. Such a conference, yeah, one can say by and for young people on the future of the media is very timely and of pivotal importance. Strong and independent media contribute to the so-called checks and balances in the political system of a country. This is almost a no-brainer, so to say, but it's very true. So independent media is essential for a functioning democracy. However, in the digital age, it is more and more difficult for traditional media to play that role and to reach audiences, especially young audiences. And regarding non-traditional media, especially social media, for example, it is important to know how to deal with them. It has been mentioned before. A lot of potential, a lot of new possibilities, but a lot of risks as well. So it's important to know how to distinguish between serious, trustworthy information and fake news, propaganda. And this is increasingly difficult. At the same time, as was mentioned by Mr. Daman, Mr. Karhausen, everybody can become a journalist nowadays, which also has its risks clearly, but on the other hand, it is important to participate in public debates and make your own voice heard, and this is really something completely new. So this having said, I very much welcome the objectives of this conference, which are manifold. Among others, learning how to even more appreciate the important role of the media, learning how to deal with the new media, sharing insights and experiences among media makers, social media activists and students interested in media. It's great that the participants and the audience are so young, because I think it's very important to start at a very young age to learn how to appreciate the role of the media. But it is also clear media is also, of course, it's about fun, it's about information. Start at a very young age, but how to reach young audiences. I mentioned this before, this is a challenge. In Germany, we have, since many, many years, a growing number of media and programs focusing on children and teenagers. And I myself, I grew up with the legendary Sendung mit der Maus. It's actually, I think it's a household name. I don't know if there even exists an English translation. It's the show with the mouse, it's called. And I think it's more than 50 years old. And in this show, the world and its complexities are explained in a very simple but very funny way. And I think without having watched many dozens of this show, I probably wouldn't have become a passionate newspaper reader and consumer of news in general, and maybe not even a diplomat. It's good to learn that in Serbia there are also a growing number of programs for younger audiences on offer. This is very much welcomed. And it is also very much appreciated that this conference provides a platform for an exchange among young participants, not only from Serbia, but also from Bosnia, Montenegro, Macedonia, and Kosovo, and then all the other countries, which I cannot name, but I was really impressed learning how many countries are represented here today, in the next 2 days. So this forum then will also give you a chance to network with your neighbors, your respective neighbors, to get to know and to understand them better. So I'm very convinced that all participants will learn a lot. I wish you all the best for the next 2 days. Be brave and help to avoid a brave new world. Thank you.
Ambassador. Now I would like to get forward in this discussion. Yeah.
Poštovane ekscelencije, ambasadore Šip, ambasadore Licio, poštovani predstavnici Deutsche Welle Akademije, dragi učesnici ove konferencije, dragi mladi predstavnici medija. Meni je svakako zadovoljstvo da vas pozdravim danas u ime Ministarstva omladine i sporta Republike Srbije i da se zahvalim pre svega Vladi Savezne Republike Nemačke na podršci koju daje mladima, kako u Srbiji, tako i šire u regionu, za njihov kvalitetniji život i rad. Da se zahvalim misiji OEBS-a, koja takođe daje podršku mladima u različitim aspektima kojima se ona prevashodno bavi, a ovog dana i ovog trenutka razgovaramo pre svega o tome kako i na koji način da mladi i mediji bolje sarađuju, da medijska pismenost mladih bude daleko bolja, da digitalna pismenost, informatička takođe bude, kako da mladi koriste medije na odgovarajući način, kako da mediji daju informacije koje mladima više odgovaraju, kako se stvara slika o mladima, ali isto tako, kako da mladi novinari i mladi ljudi koji sami stvaraju informacije koriste moderne tehnologije da bi na odgovarajući način uspeli da prenesu poruku koju žele. Iz tog ugla mogu da kažem da Republika Srbija ima veoma razvijena strateška dokumenta iz omladinske politike, od Zakona o mladima, strategije za mlade. Isto tako u okviru te strategije imamo ciljeve koji se odnose upravo na ove teme. Kako ih ostvarujemo? Sa mladima, uz mlade, pokušavajući neki način da zajedno sa drugim ministarstvima, sa nevladinim sektorom, sa predstavnicima medija, utičemo na način na koji će se upotrebljavati mediji, način na koji će se plasirati informacije i, naravno, kako da se oni koriste zarad kvalitetnog razvojnog puta mlade osobe, a da ne bude situacija koja upravo se koriste u suprotnom smislu, da se mediji i posebno savremeni mediji koriste za nešto što je neadekvatno i što nije u duhu vrednosti niti Evrope, niti Evropske unije, niti Ujedinjenih nacija, samim tim i Srbije. Dakle, nikako govoriti o mržnji, prenositi poruke koje vređaju bilo čije dostojanstvo i uvek s uvažavanjem poštovati bilo koju osobu, jer svi mi u našim različitostima u suštini smo isti i jednaki. To je poruka koju želim da prenesem pre svega mladima, a verujem da današnji skup sa toliko mladih iz različitih krajeva je zaista prilika da razmenite mišljenja, da kažete mnogo više o tome kako biste vi volili da kreirate svet, šta mislite, kako i na koji način možete pomoći i sebi i drugima da situacija u regionu i celom svetu bude daleko bolja. I na kraju želim zaista da vam preporučim da pokušate da budete i samokritični, da uvek informaciju koju dobijete sagledate sa pitanjima odakle sam je dobio, šta ona nosi, da li sam sigurana ili siguran u to, izvor, i da ne prenesete tek tako, nego da prvo razmislite. Kada hoćete da spustite neki nalog na Twitter, Facebook, 3 puta razmislite pre nego što kliknete, jer ćete možda povrediti nekoga. Razmislite čemu dajete tu poruku i zašto to koristite i šta želite da postignete. Često, kada se već jednom klikne i ode u etar i pusti se putem sajtova, teško je vratiti korak unazad. To je kao ona izgovorena reč koju bi želeo da povučem, ali je veoma teško. I to je jedno naručenje koje verujem da ćete svi vi poneti sa sobom i uvek razmisliti pre nego što krenete, da puštate informacije, kreirate i razgovarate kao što danonoćno radite, jer očito da savremeni mediji daleko veću primat imaju odnosno tradicionalne. I na kraju moram da kažem da što se tiče našeg učešća ovde, predstavnici Kosova i Metohije su ovde, znači oni su sastavni deo Republike Srbije, prema rezoluciji 1944 i u tom kontekstu, znači, mi vas pozdravljamo i želim dobrodošlicu u Srbiji. Hvala lepo.
So, I would like now Mr. Andrea Maurizio to take the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, dear Klaus, dear Thomas, dear Sister Minister, dear friends. I like very much, first of all, the scenery here, and I think it is highly symbolic of what we are trying to do today here. Certainly a journey among generation, among media, among different ways, but with a lot of fragility. Here it's fragile here. Fragility we all have, overwhelmed by a flow of information. And I think that today, we were very proud, together with Deutsche Welle Academy, we have now established a very strong cooperation, and we will do even more, to foster dialogue on media across generations. What we saw last year, I was also present to a different event, but we had the same, somehow, conception since the beginning. It's really, when it comes to media for children and youth, we certainly live in the brave new world of creativity. Partnership, which is a key word in whatever the OSCE mission does here, in building bridges of knowledge between generations and between different media, together with local ownership of ideas and content development in the digital era, are really the main tenets of our work here. But at the same time, we have to foster dialogue among all stakeholders, to inspire them in creating media content that serves the public interest for all age groups. It's important to take care of the younger generation. It's also important not to forget about the other ones, otherwise we lose still the driving force of all countries. But also I think that a crucial point of this event, which makes the first one something, I always like when something is the first thing, when you open a new door, it's that you have 200 very skilled young professionals representing 12 countries from the region and beyond. This is really crucial, I think, because without dialogue, without sharing experience, all what we can do is really get limited into borders. Information is not limited by borders, certainly not the digital one. At the same time, you know, things change completely. Media are completely different. The digital era. You hear now from all of us, as we always compare to something which, to many of you, something which simply did not exist. I have two kids. One is a Z generation and one is younger than that. And they have 8 years of difference. The first one was born in 1999. And they have themselves a completely different way of relationship with digital media, which it's half a generation they have in between. And it's a completely new way of using tools or being informed by tools. So in the end, everything changes, but the 5 W are still there. Why, where, when, what, and especially how. What you want, from where, when. And this is crucial. So this was the very traditional way to conceive not only information, but also a script. A story. When you tell a story, you have to take this into account. The media and the medium changes, but these questions are the ones which stay there. It is true that certainly youth and media reform are a very important part of the digitalization efforts in Serbia, and certainly we have been trying to respond since the very beginning to this changing needs, and also we have done a lot in youth connectivity in a very cross-cutting fashion. You cannot again leave it to media. This also doesn't make sense. Media are collecting the all different dimensions. And this is why we have also worked a lot on a dialogue among youth from across the country and the region, including, for instance, young Albanians and young Serbians. We have an exchange between youth, which is working extremely well. And also, in doing this, we realized how crucial it is to address youngsters in the language, of course, they understand they use, in the normal digital era language. For those who are here now, that's the era. What is past is very nice objects. I adore the newspaper as an object, frankly. I cannot resist it, I still use it. But it's like using this kind of thing. There's things I like. It's not essential to my life, but I like it and I use it. But still, it has to live together with the rest. And this is why media literacy is certainly a pillar now of any modern democratic society, on any functional literacy. And media literacy for youth is really an extremely powerful tool in order to equip citizens with skills to critically understand media content. So, this year is the first school year in Serbia where, thanks to the government and the Ministry of Education in particular, finally media literacy is an extracurricular topic. This is the first school year. At the same time, they are still studying, I think, certain authorities, how to make it a mainstream curricular, even at primary school, because it's never too early to try to understand better what is happening around us. And together with our partners, some of them are here around, we also have focused on promoting debates for students. For instance, we did it we like the extreme, so Novi Pazar, Subotica, in Vojvodina and other places, in Zlatibor as well, not to leave any area, in Belgrade certainly. But, and 2 weeks ago, we had 130 high school students from South Serbia, from both ethnic Serbian and ethnic Albanian communities, who participated together at a media literacy training course in Bujanovac, which was extremely successful, and the interest which was shown and the awareness shown by students was much higher than expected. We thought to do something very small, it became kind of avalanche, a positive one. At the same time, just to give you what kind of cross-cutting approach we must have if we want to try to be a little bit effective, we integrated the topic of child safety on the internet, which is really more and more important, in a state-of-the-art handbook for primary school children, the first of its kind, and I always like the first ones I told you, and this was distributed to all schools. But since we are in the digital era, we couldn't stop with printing. This was very important at first stage, because we forget sometimes Belgrade is one thing, the country is large, has different conditions of access to the web. It's very important also sometimes to have the physical support, but now we are developing a mobile application that is available for download and which will help kids but also their families, their parents. Literacy is not only a matter of young people again. Just to give you some example of the potential of information technologies, how it is, but only when adequate knowledge is available to its users. And the way ahead we have in mind includes developing dedicated media targeting young people, but also in a way belonging to young people as well. Those media are today's influencers. They're growing, involving more and more interested actors to shape the realities of young generations in the country and in the region. And certainly never before we could have so many different options of content offered specifically to young audiences. Generations raised after the 2000 are really pioneers in setting and stretching the boundaries of today's brave new world of creativity. But also, when we say news media, we think of content produced with editorial control, usually fact-based, distributed to everyone simultaneously. This is not the reality as it is now. Millennials, the Z generation, and the one after, so I have direct knowledge of the three of them, they have been targeted since their birth, basically. Sometimes they are object of information when they get born. It's becoming a phenomenon which is also somehow really worrying. But they are targeted by media content specifically designed for them. And this, of course, explains why traditional media do not particularly think of the young generation. It's not somehow their market very often, not their target. But you see, on average now they spend around 13 hours per week watching TV, and when I was a kid, TV was the enemy, was the, at that time, internet. But 72% of them visit YouTube every day. So young people, they do not only consume, but they actively interact and produce their own media content, which is accessible to all at any moment. So, dear friends, where do we stand? So with youth, new media, who is to deal with professional standards or ethical dilemmas? Can we rely on distributors' term of use? No, of course. Advertisers, should they exercise social responsibility when sponsoring content that is considered controversial? What role can the institutions play? Public service and traditional media, which still have a very important role. Sometimes they split into traditional, digital, they have to follow the markets where it is. Well, Brave New Media provides certainly some possible answers, some options to this important question. As an initiative which really enables better connectivity, cooperation, mutual understanding, and also combining strong support to the production of creative content with the development of digital skills and media literacy of youth in Serbia and beyond, we, as OSCE, as a mission of the OSCE to Serbia, we try to bring added value to this initiative, to this debate, which has to be very open, very without prejudices. We try to work for youth, to youth, but not only. It's also, it's not from youth to youth. No, it has to be cross-cutting. It has to be taken into account whenever doing any single project. But you know, I have the feeling that to be brave new media means very often to resist, which is not easy, the temptation of shortcut, of just transmitting the flow of information which is overwhelming us. And to go back to fact-finding, fact-checking. The reality is that new media must be brave because they have to be of much better quality than the traditional ones. But this is possible only if you have new brave media and also a new brave audience, which has literacy, which is able to understand what is coming from media and why. And again, we go back to the usual 5W and an H, which is how. So I will also conclude, thanks to this fantastic scenery here, with bon voyage. It's always a traveling, a journey we have to start and to do together. It's never ending. Thank you very much.